Hey guys, welcome back to channel. Maverick here with another episode of 86. So, in this episode, I guess we learn a little bit more about the Empire Turret Federation and whatnot, whether it's harboring some dark secrets and so on and so forth. I mean, I do kind of get the feeling it's probably going to be an important story going forward in terms of the sort of political situation and so on and so forth, but we'll see about that, right? And obviously, Shin and the others have to make a decision. Are they going to return to the battlefield or not, and under what circumstances? Although, of course, judging by the opening, I think the answer there is quite obvious as well. So, anyways, let's just get right into it. Alright, let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. Oh, actually, it seems like we're starting with the opening here. Which we honestly already saw last episode, right? As part of the, as most anime like to do it, using the opening as the ending for the first episode. Alright, and so obviously, with these scenes, they're most probably going to go back to the battlefield. Heck, they might even have, like, their own little squad or something. Oh. I guess that's hinting that they might see each other by the end of the series. Hmm? Some background music. Okay, so they're actually doing odd jobs right now? I guess they're trying to experiment with civilian life or something. Of course, she's the most waifu out of all of them. Alright. I wonder how long they've been here. right back at ya. She looks so much like Kittens in Black from from Uma Musume. It's funny. Does that work? Does it work? Oh, it worked. I think translating as "you're much easier than you look" would be better than gullible. Is one means he was tricked, while the other just means that he has a soft heart. Right, right. So again, you know, taking a chance at civilian life and whatnot. I mean, I'm sure that at the very end, they're still gonna go back to the battlefield. Christmas, eh? A month, eh? Oh, so he can't forget his comments yet. Still needs to. Wow. Christmas Eve. So technically, the machinery or the mech that they use here should be more advanced than they use in the Republic, right? Judging from the dialogue last episode. Hmm. It's too late. Alright, perspective change. Oh, no, still here. Yeah, that's pretty cute. Oh, so I guess that's the pistol that's always been appearing in the openings and whatnot. So I guess they are going to make a decision on Christmas or something. So are they going to be called like the Christmas? Well, I guess technically they aren't exactly called Christmas, right? Their hearts are on the battlefield. She's hungry. Why does she know, though? Interesting. I want to go back. Or something of that sort. Pretty reasonable, I understand. Like, are you speaking from experience, Federica? She was already in power 10 years ago? 2 weeks later. Oh, his brother? Okay, there's some supernatural things here going on as well, eh? Kidia. Huh. A full episode without seeing Lena, actually. Interesting. I guess they have actually switched up a little bit, in a sense. Okay, and now we have the actual ending here. So let's take a look. Although, if it's just from here, it seems it's just some scenes from the actual episode. Alright, I can just listen to this on my own. I'll see you guys after this. Alright, so that was episode 2, and I guess mostly you can view it as more of an in-between episode, right? Where we do get to see Shin and the rest, going about their daily lives. A what-if scenario, I guess you could say. If there was not a war, what would they actually be doing? How would they live their lives? So on and so forth. And of course, in the end, coming to the conclusion that they still need to go back, right? And honestly, I think the entire thing played out quite reasonably and wholesome. I mean, both sides aren't inherently wrong, right? I'm talking about both on Shin's side and even on Ernst's side as well, right? On the Prez's side, because what he's saying also makes a lot of sense as well. It really depends on how you want to interpret the situation. I mean, he has said his piece. He stated his piece. He stated his position. But ultimately, right, allowing Shin and the others to have their own free will, have their own free choice. I think it's, you can't really ask for more than that, right? And the irony of the situation is also that even though, he did adapt them only in name only, right? It's only as a sort of way to allow them to stay in the new federation, in the Federacy, and at least have a place to stay, and so on and so forth. But the way that he's actually talking to them and saying you got to think of the future and whatnot, you got to do things right. it's really literally like he is their dad or whatnot, and sending them off to school, getting educated properly, and so on and so forth. And I do feel like it's a really reasonable and good compromise between them, right? On one hand, how can I say this? So he's not actually using the press's power to say, okay, you just immediately get to the front line or whatnot, and you form your own unit or so on and so forth. But they still actually have to prove themselves, right? They have to go through the necessary steps. In fact, maybe even gain more knowledge and stuff that they haven't known before. I mean, practical experience obviously is valuable and whatnot, but there is a reason why you go through training and go for more education, right? So I do enjoy it. Like, I'd say this is pretty much the best ending that, the best compromise that they could have done. I mean, obviously, Shin and the others weren't going to wait until they were of age to go forward and go back and fight and whatnot. You could argue whether or not they are still, especially Shin, carrying too much of a burden, right? And to be honest, I think it is burden that's put on him by himself. I mean, the dead are dead, right? And let's not forget that most of his comrades, they're only there because the Republic forced them to, right? It's not out of any kind of any sort of specific dedication to fighting for the Republic or anything. Although I guess they did, I think at the end of season 1, I think we did see that their pride to them is that they are going to, they do believe that they are doing this for perhaps not for the Republic, but for the sake of their own people, right? Somebody's got to go up to fight the Legion, otherwise, the entire country, including the 86, right, would all perish. So, from that sort of perspective, then again, it's not surprising that they would eventually choose this. I am kind of curious though, like if we expand this actually to even more, right, like the original, the entire squadron that Lena was in charge of, would they all still 100% want to go back on the battlefield and fight until the end of the war? I guess that's a bit more of a question mark here, but that's kind of a moot point, right? Obviously, at least for these that have survived, that's what they want, and that's what they will get. Beyond that, I think the other interesting thing, probably, or the biggest thing, I guess you could say, that stemmed from this episode is indeed, Frederica's, or I guess Augustus's, what she was saying at the end of this episode, right? I mean, obviously, the fact that she was the Empress was revealed in the last episode, but, judging from what she's saying here, it seems that she was already in power when all of this started, right? Although, similar to how Raiden kind of, like, questioned her on this at the very end there, I suspect that she might not be telling the entire story either. And this also confirms that there is something more supernatural going on in terms of all this, right? We're not just dealing with some spooky technology, in terms of the implants and so on and so forth, but also actually there is a more supernatural kind of thing going on in this as well. I mean, I guess technically there was from the very beginning, right? Because the whole reason that those implants could have been used is that, if I recall correctly, there was a family of people, right? A certain bloodlines, people with certain genetics that could actually, do telepathy and whatnot. And so that's how that entire technology came to be. So I guess it does make sense that there are some other supernatural powers around here as well, right? What Federica talked about in regards to her eyes and being able to see the past and the future, I guess this ties in nicely, and also the fact that she is searching for someone on the Legion side as well. I guess this ties in nicely with what we saw in the opening, with a specific dude having blue glowing eyes instead, right? I would presume that is the person that Federica is talking about. Is that actually just, as she said, a knight of hers, or is it actually a relative of hers, maybe her brother or something of that sort? We'll see, right? We'll see. And I assume we'll be getting more and more into the story as Federica and the others get more and more closer, and they trust each other a lot more. Although, as we can see here, just the difference in one episode, they've already gotten quite close to each other. And so, yeah, beyond that, I mean, I was kind of surprised that we didn't see anything from Lena in this episode, but, I guess they are mixing it up a little bit. So, I mean, that's all I can say for this episode. There's not really, like I said, there's not really too much else to go on. It did seem kind of fast, reaching this kind of conclusion, right? Just 1 month passed, and this is what they were doing in the meantime, so on and so forth. And in the end, okay, they are going back to officer school for training, and eventually out back on the battlefield. Seems to have accelerated a lot of the development, but I guess it's for the best, considering that I'm sure lots of people do want to see the actual battlefield scenes and the action, right? So, yeah, that's it for this episode. I guess in the next one, I do hope that we do get to see them, ace their trainings, or as I will suspect, perhaps they will actually struggle on a few subjects or a few items and whatnot, but then eventually come out of it, with top marks or something of that sort, right? And then eventually probably get into some sort of elite squadron, including, probably we will meet some of those that we met in the last episode, right? Some of the other elite squadrons under the president and whatnot. I have a feeling we will be seeing them once again, because I'm quite certain that Shin and the others aren't just going to be given their own, given their own squadron to go about. Although, I guess that would actually make a lot of sense too. So we'll have to see. Anyways, that's it for this episode. Thank you guys. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.